So there's multiple different ways to get referrals, but one of the big topics to understand is referrals. I mean, you got to really get down referrals as a. You're like, okay, well, there's presenting, there's closing a sale, there's getting referrals. It's its own bubble. Does that make sense? Like it's its own big bubble that needs to be filled, done, used, just like presenting. But presenting is really important. Yeah, referrals is like just as important because we are in the business of where our leads only come through networking, right? We're not buying you leads. You are free to go buy leads if you want, which is really dumb. But we basically work from referral status, okay? So there are different ways to get referrals that we think of referrals in, which is like if I do an interview with somebody, a coffee, a kitchen table, somebody becomes a client, somebody buys something from me, they give me referrals. We always think of referrals in that part, okay? Then there's the big separator line, which is new associates warm market. So like a new recruit's warm market, right? Or it's a list. That's also a referral, right? You have to learn how to get referrals from all of these. Some of us are really good at getting, and honestly, I'd probably argue that most aren't very good at even getting a new recruits list because you tend to only get a top 10, 20, 30. You're not, most people are good at it. You're getting like 100 from most recruits, really maximizing on the opportunity because somebody's a client. You're across the kitchen table and somebody gives you referrals. They're only going to give you so many. If somebody's decided to do this business, you should be able to see and call everyone they know if you teach them why, how. Everybody follow me? Mm-hmm. Like they've got to know that they need to see everyone, not just some. As you're telling a new recruit to put down more people and why, and they're still discriminating. They're discriminating as you are telling them not to discriminate. They're still discriminating. Like everybody in the room is shaking their head because you did it. We're sitting across from you. I'm saying I like to tell people things. Like, hey, if you opened a restaurant, Lauren, who in your family would you tell that you were opening up a restaurant? Would you only tell a couple of people, or would you tell everybody?
Everyone.
You tell everyone. Now, by everyone, do you mean like the actual definition of the word meaning, like everyone?
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
So you just started a financial services business. Are you going to just tell a couple of people, or are you going to tell everyone?
Should be everyone.
Should be everyone, right? So then you start to build a list, and then you see like scrolling past names. You're like, hold on, didn't you say everyone? He's like, yeah, but they're not. And I'm like, well, I said the definition of the word everyone, which would mean like all inclusive, meaning like everyone, right? Like, yeah. So we need to put them down. Doesn't mean we're going to call them right away. Doesn't mean we're going to be able to have time to get with it, whatever. You want them to be open, though, to being, okay, let me put everyone down. Well, they're in Texas. That's fine. Write them down. I used to say like, oh, don't, just skip over them. Write them down. Because what I don't want to do is stop the momentum. Mm-hmm. There's momentum. Does that make sense? They're like, well, they're in Texas. Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay. What about them? Yep. What about these people? Yep, that's fine. He's got a misdemeanor. Don't worry about it. I just want them to just get their brain feeling like everyone. We will classify all these, qualify all these later. Let's just get everyone now, and then we'll qualify who probably needs our product, services, opportunity, that sort of stuff, okay? So this one, though, is mega because it takes a lot of these other ones to add up to the amount of referrals you can get from a new recruit. Mm-hmm. It takes like a lot of work in the other avenues. So, not a lot of new recruits will give you a top like 100 list, okay? If you do a good job. So now if you're at the kitchen table, what have they kind of taught is kind of the number you want to ask for at least in referrals? Anyone? You want to ask like for 10? Okay. Now I'll tell you, we always say 10, but really I want to know who the real 3 are. my trainer always said, Bill always said, he's like, I never got 10 referrals. I was like, really? He's like, no, I just said, like, who are the three? Like, the real three. Like, who are the real three? That, you break down in Gary at a bad time of night, and they're coming to get you, even though it's Friday night, they got to work tomorrow morning, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. This is extremely a pain in the neck, but they're still going to come. Who are those three, 2 to 4? I mean, it's somewhere in that zone. Most people can fit those kind of people in one hand. There's not many of those people in most people's lives, because it's hard to be that close and that good with many people. So, because what I've learned is a lot of times I'll get the 10 referrals I call them, I end up just getting on the appointment with 3. And you're like, those were the 3. So an interview, somebody comes in for like a one-on-one to show them the opportunity of what we do, and they don't want to do the business. You should be working at getting another 10 to 15. I try to work a higher number here. Okay. There's nothing at loss. Kitchen table. I'm going to drive you for referrals, but I'm not going to beat the tar out of you because you just like bought from me and then want to keep you happy and stuff, But if you're like not doing the business, I really want to encourage you to give me a lot of referrals, because I may be able to use those referrals to build you a team, to call you back, to put you up above that team. Does that make sense? So I can call them and say, Jolene, I got you all these people. You should come back and you should really give this a thought about signing up and getting a license, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, okay. So you got 4 people on your team already. If we just go get your license, get a couple of sales, you're going to make district leader, you're going to get promoted, you're going to start to receive overrides. So you see what I mean? You can manipulate is one of those words like brainwash that like is now like a bad term, but like I don't know why. Like it should be a good thing. Like to wash something is good. So I don't understand what it is that like brainwashing is bad. If it wanted to call it something bad, like call it like brain muddying or something. I don't know. Like hey, we got those like social things that we say that don't make any sense. Like you got brainwashed. It was bad, and you're like, last time I washed my clothes, it was a good thing. Like they quit stinking afterwards. So you can use those lists a lot of times to get people to come back. A coffee or a breakfast. These are kind of I wrote these separate for a reason. Okay. Now coffee. A lot of times we call an interview a coffee, but you really were going with the intention to recruit somebody or get to a kitchen table. A lot of times, right? So why do you go to a coffee or a breakfast? A lot of times the goal is to maybe warm the relationship up, so that because maybe you haven't seen like your old friend Ray in years, and then you say, hey Ray, let's get together, let's have breakfast. He's like, oh yeah man, sounds good. Okay, we haven't seen each other in a really long time, let's just get together. Now I really think you should go in full intentionally with just the rebirthing of that relationship. There's certain people that your relationship was in such a place before where maybe it's not at now, where you just don't want to call them up and just ask for an appointment. It just feels wrong. Well, don't then. Go have coffee, go have breakfast. Like, catch up a little bit, warm them up a little bit again, reestablish the relationship. And then later or something, or maybe during that conversation, if things are going really well and he's asking you all about what you're doing,
Right.
and it feels appropriate, well then bring that in.
Right.
But also be careful not to be that guy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? We have
Use
that
people.
We have that problem. You just use people. This happens in like multi-level marketing companies. Like that's why I hate when people like associate us with stuff like that. Is because of stuff like that. Is because how people treat people as like objects rather than as like people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because you're like trying to get a sale all the time.
Right.
You realize the harder you try, the worse you do. When it comes to like that, I don't mean work ethic.
Right.
I mean the more you try to force stuff that isn't natural.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to force a relationship to like work or something.
Right.
Like it's not working, man. Let it go. You know what I mean? It's a mess or what. It's kind of the same thing. You're like trying to force the sale. Like, let up.
Right.
Leave them alone. Close them in a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they could die. Yeah, they could, but that's on them, not on you. The blood's not on your hands. You've talked to them.
Yeah.
You told them what you needed to tell them.
Right.
You followed up with them, and they said they don't want to talk about it. Leave them alone. Do not bring up the name of the company, your product. Every time you see them, don't talk about it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Start the conversation with whatever may interest them. So like you see them, talk about the dog, talk about the kids, ask them how the new fence project went and that they put up in the backyard.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I will literally kill them with everything else and not bring that up at all so that they don't feel like there's an elephant in the room.
Right.
Right.
Because if you are a mature adult, which most adults are not adults and or mature, okay? If you're a mature adult, you should be okay with the fact that not everyone buys or joins your business,
Right.
okay? Like, be mature about that, okay? And just understand, like, they're not there mentally,
Right.
you know, for whatever reason, you know, whatever, right? And be okay with, like, just, hey, still at a family party, still at a get-together, picnic, whatever, and just letting the relationship go back to where it was pre you doing what you're doing now.
Right.
Does that make sense? Just turn it off. Like, right. Like, knock it off. You're there, like, just turn it off. You know, I was telling Alex yesterday, he's like, talking to this guy, I'm like, dude, just leave him alone. He's like, but he
Right.
needs it. I said, dude, just leave him alone. I
Right.
said, just leave him alone. He's not going to. He'll come around in time, like, but just give him time. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, he's got to mature,
Yeah.
you know.
And if
So-
it gets to that point where like, oh gosh, they're only talking to you about the business, you know,
Yeah.
instead of like actually like wondering what, you know, how you're doing and things like that.
Right.
Right. They start to get a stigma with, like, you.
Right.
Because the only thing you want to do is sell me or recruit me,
Right.
is how they feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you got to be really careful with this with real high relationship oriented people because they just, you took their relationship from a friendship to a business
Mm-hmm.
transaction, and you, does that make sense?
Mhm.
They'll
You-
run
you-
away from you.
They run
Right.
away from you because we're friends. And now you're using me as like a way to further advance your business. Some people have a hard time with that. They can't see through the fact that you just have a good product that you're excited about and you want them to own.
Yeah.
Or that you have a great opportunity for them to make money and you love and care about that person. You want them to make money. Does that make sense? And like, but they're not feeling it that way. They're like,
Right.
you just want to override me and make money for me or something like that. So, you guys have somebody pass test?
Yeah, we're gonna set it up there. We get the paperwork.
Fantastic.
Woohoo!
Cool. That's exciting. So, everybody following? I mean, just be careful on that stuff, okay? So when there's a reason I separated this from interviews because, you know, people just do that too much. You know, you're in church and you're always talking to people at church about America. Like, leave them alone. Like, I don't even talk shop at church, like, ever.
Right.
Like,
Not
ever.
even with actual clients.
Right, yeah, they're my actual clients. I forget their clients because I have a lot of people in my church that are clients. I forget they're my clients
Yeah.
because I never talk about Primerica, ever. I compartmentalize. I'm at
Mhm.
church. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't talk about it there. I don't bring up my opportunity, my I just don't.
Right.
Like, because now what I'm doing is I'm painting a color over another color. You know what I mean? You're just globbing stuff up, and that's why that's why when you talk to people, it's disingenuous and they don't feel right about it, and
Right.
they don't want to join you, and because you're convoluting, you're mixing, you're muddling it all up, instead of just saying, "Hey, Lauren, we're at a party, okay?" Say, "Lauren, I really have something I want to talk to you about. We're of course having a good time right now. I don't want to talk about, but I got some business stuff I really want to talk to you about. Could we have coffee to talk about that?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm compartmentalizing this transaction in her mind.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So she's going, okay, we're having fun here. She maybe heard from Abby what I'm doing, but she also can respect subconsciously that I'm not at the family party. This is what people do all the time. They're like pulling out quick quotes at parties. You're like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, this is moronic. Like, you're at a party, knock it off. You know, like, be at the party. You know what I mean? If you want to do that, set up an appointment and go do that. I'm not saying that being aggressive isn't good. Being aggressive is great. We should be extremely aggressive. We should also be professional. People in professionals don't do that. They don't sell people policies at picnics. You see what I mean? They'll say, hey, let's get back together and talk about that later. Here's my card, or let's switch numbers. Let's set something up to talk business.
Right.
Later.
I think another good point is just kind of going back to like how people join you and not the company. So
Right.
like that vibe that you're giving out, if you're not just always so aggressive, they won't, you know, it's like, oh, well, this is something that they really do like to do, or, you know.
Right.
Right.
It becomes more genuine. So
Right.
it's important because you get a lot more by doing what appears to be doing less. What happens is
Right.
you're compartmentalizing. You're living in the now. If you're at a family event, you're with your family having a good time.
Right.
You know, that sort of thing. You're not mixing everything together. Okay? So having a coffee or a breakfast with somebody is really, really powerful way to get a lot of referrals and to grow your business, okay? Because a lot of times you'll have that breakfast with somebody, you're just meeting, the conversation goes there. I'm like, hey, how's work going? He's like, it's going good, da-da-da-da-da-da. We're talking about that. And then he says, how are things going for you? Things are going good. Be careful, just for your notes. Do not start to sell or recruit them. You know what I mean? Just because they asked you how your work's going, that's not an open door to like sell me or recruit me. That's not what they're asking you for. They're asking how it's going. They're not saying, so can I do what you do? They're saying, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't mean you don't plant a seed. This is just that professional, really being professional, not being like, I've got a business, you should be in it. You know, like, it doesn't, I'm telling you, it just doesn't. You see a million people doing that with a million different types of opportunity and stuff, and they're never the successful ones.
Right.
Ever. Because they're always just, nobody wants to be by them, because they're just, here's my makeup, buy more makeup, I've got more makeup, I've got the t-shirt on that says my company, and it's on the side of my car, and it's like, dude, you're so nerdy. Like, it's so nerdy to me. It's just, that's what it is to me. It's just nerdy. You know, you're like, wow, you got stickers all over your car, and you're wearing the t-shirt. You look like such a nerd. Like, crap, you can't buy, like, real clothes or something. I just, you know, I get it during the day. Like, it's a weekday. Got it on my shirt. I am what? Working. So I have my work. You know, like, you're at Six Flags, you got the hat, and like, all, you know, it's like, just look like a nerd, man. Like, come on. So, it's hilarious. So, it's not that you can't be proud of something, but like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of weird. So, same thing with like, I don't wear like big Nike shirts or anything. It's just funny. Like, they don't pay me to sport their gear. I'm not doing that. So, so coffee, breakfast. I know that's kind of funny. It's kind of weird, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not into it. So, if you do this right, a lot of times these will turn into what? Interviews. So a lot of times you have a coffee or breakfast. So I was having breakfast with a dude a while back, and we just got together for breakfast, legitimately. We're just talking. We're talking food. He's into barbecuing and all kinds of stuff. And then he's like, your company, that's like, it's like a multi-level marketing company. Is that, I can understand where you'd come from on that. I said, because, you know, you probably known some guys who were in the business and then they were trying to get others into the business or something of the nature, right? He's like, yeah. And I said, and we just had a little bit of a conversation. And I said, but technically we're not on like a binary recruiting system and we don't work like that. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, that's cool. He goes, I mean, it makes sense that you can build the brokerage and like, you know, he's like, but it's not exactly what I thought. And he just needs somebody to talk to him about it.
Right.
Does it make sense? But I said, hey, but I don't want to talk shop. See what I mean? I said, I don't want to talk shop too much. I said, yeah. I said, I just really want to have breakfast. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to make, you guys follow me?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to accidentally, like, make this like a business thing. I said, no, it's fine. I said, I just didn't want you to also think. I said, you know, I just want to have breakfast with you, man. Get to know you a little bit better. I don't know you that well. And you and your wife go to our church. And I just want to have a just get together. I was being legitimate and honest in that, but it's also tactful. Does that make sense? I was being honest, but it was also tactful that I knew that I purposely said that to make him understand I'm not here to do that. You know what I mean? So don't mix up our breakfast as I'm trying to recruit you today or get a sale from you or something. You know what I mean? So
Otherwise, that word will spread, and nobody else will have breakfast or coffee or anything with you. They will avoid you like the plague.
Right, because they'll say, "Oh, she's going to ask you to breakfast. The only reason she's asking you breakfast so she can recruit you." You see what I mean? So I was like, "I don't really, you know." He's like, "Okay." I said, "So, how's the da?" We got back to talking about barbecue. Easy conversation for me, because he's like a big barbecue dude. So we were talking about barbecuing again, and then work, and I got him talking about his work, which is cool because I got to learn about his company. I don't know much about that company. I got to learn a ton about that company. I was being actually interested, like I actually was interested. So I was asking all these questions. See, I like to learn. Like Bill Travis told me, you got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. God gave you 2 more of those than one of that, one of that. So talk half as much, listen twice as more, watch twice as more, right? So I'm sitting there trying to listen. And by the end of the thing, he goes, "Man, I really think he goes, would like to do something like you're doing part-time, like on the side. You know, he's like, can people like do this? Can they do what you do on the side? Yes, they can. I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I never tried to recruit you at all once this morning whatsoever, at all. I literally was like, let's have breakfast. And we're just talking, and I'm asking about his job, and He asked me a couple of things about our business. I explained to him why that was wrong, and then here's how it really works. And he was like, okay. I'm like, let's not talk shop. Get back to talking about barbecue. And at the end, he's like, I really wish I could, barbecue more, do this and that, and maybe we should talk again. Okay. And then what? I haven't called him for a month. Let him chill. What? I'm not like, let's get together tomorrow. You're like, so then the desperate you now comes out. You finally got a first date, right? You're like.
Now you're contemplating the phone call.
Now you're like, do I call tomorrow? How many days do I give it? You're checking online to see what the general consensus is. See what I mean? Not how to do it. So remember, we were recording. So. KT's interviews, coffees, breakfast, and new recruits. These are basically where they come from. Okay? So the new recruit one, that's kind of like its own class, right? But having breakfast with people is a very, very powerful way for you to reconnect with people, reestablish a relationship, which then, if the conversation goes that way on the appointment, would really let you get things going. Now, also a business professional, you could have breakfast now. So that was with friends. But what about just like a business professional? You have other business people, other people in sales, car sales, mortgages, whatever. All these different things, right? Do they have breakfast? Yeah, like everybody eats breakfast, right? So ask them out to breakfast and do it based on talking shop. So when you call that person, you say, hey, I'd like to get together for breakfast. Maybe we can network a little bit. I think our businesses could maybe complement one another. And I could have some people that maybe could refer to you, and you could have some people that maybe you could refer to me once you knew exactly what I did. I'd love to get together and see if that, maybe we can help each other's businesses grow. Fair enough? Yeah, let's get together. Sounds good, man. How's Wednesday? Cool. Business people always want to what? Grow their business. So if you're talking about growing their business, let's get together to grow our businesses, they're like, sure. They're like, please. They're thinking to themselves, gosh, I should make more calls like that. That was really smart. That person to call me and just talk about networking. I need to network more. You know what I mean? They're always thinking that, right? They're like, man, I was thinking about putting up a billboard. That doesn't help much, but I'm going to get with Lauren, and then she knows a bunch of people that I don't know. And if they're a smart business person, it's like, man, that was really smart. That was cool. I should do more of this. See what I mean? So you should do more of that. What's that?
They respect you for that.
Yeah, they respect you for that, right? Because you're a business professional, initiating the call. Like, hey, let's get together to grow each other's business. I mean, I did that with a realtor recently. She's got to do some 401k rollovers now and some stuff. And we sat down just to have coffee I said, I don't know what end of the real estate game you're really in. What are you doing, specializing in? Because they all kind of do different things, you know, different markets and stuff. And it, like, what do you specialize in? What do you do? Da da da. Okay. What do you do? This is what I do. Da da da. She's like, I've got a couple old 401ks. I need to roll those over. You do exactly what I actually need. Oh, perfect. Imagine that. Like, you know, like, because what we do is what? Am I listing a house? That's what I always say is the problem with real estate. How often are you listing or buying or selling a house? They say it's an average of like 4 or 5 years or something like that. You know, I can't remember what it is now that people are buying and selling homes. Okay, so that's only every so often. How often do I need auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, investments, savings? Like all the time. I need like all those like all the time, right? So basically, we'll always get more out of those kinds of transactions than they will. Okay, because it's just a greater chance that somebody's in that zone right now to need something. Okay. So coffees like that are really powerful too. Just be careful, like I said, if you're doing it to re-establish a relationship, do it for that. If you're doing it for a business networking kind of thing, do it for that. Okay, which also like look like a business person. No, that helps. I was telling Mac the other day. I said last night. I think I was telling Henry. I said, do you guys realize like I realistically wore a tie basically every single day? Until about 2 years ago. Like every day, all through my 20s, till 30 years old, I wore a tie all the time. And now it might be unbuttoned and like hung down a little bit, but I had a tie on in a dress shirt that was pressed, not wrinkled up. You know what I mean? A pressed shirt, tie, I looked like a pro. You know what I mean? Because I had to, you do have to compensate for your lack of skill somehow. And dress in our society, I mean, you can literally be broke as sin. I mean, the girl from the wedding we were talking about, this is a prime example. You can make yourself look like anything. That girl was 16 years old. I tell her I thought she was 25 by how she was dressed. I thought, ain't no way in hell some mama let that girl out of the house if she was 16. She had to be a grown adult.
But she came in here to a meeting. She looked like a completely different person.
Right. She came in. Yeah, that girl was here at an op meeting. She looked 16 that night. That's why I didn't know it was her. I thought she was a different person, which is funny. She goes to a wedding. Follow this. She goes to a wedding where she might have the chance to meet a boy, and she looks like she is 25 and hot to trot. See what I mean? Ready to roll, right? She comes to a business meeting, looks like a bum.
Yeah.
Wow.
What does that say about someone's character?
Yep.
Not much.
Yeah.
See what I mean? I'm in life for what? A good time. And remember I said hard decisions equal easy life. Easy decisions equal hard life. She's going to have a pretty tough life. People come into interviews, they're dressed like I am for Saturday training today. You see what I mean? You know, it's Saturday training. We got like a couple birthday parties to go to today and stuff. I don't have appointments. Okay? But like, when I'm dressed for appointments, shirt pressed, tucked in, dress shoes, looked the part. You see what I mean? It's going to be a tough life. People come into these interviews, right? They show up looking like bums. And I'm like, dude, I understand that maybe you don't have a lot of dress clothes or something like that. But like, go to Goodwill. Go to Goodwill, pick up a dress shirt that's been worn a few times for $2. You know, I mean, you know, like, get an iron. You know, they're like free practically. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I think an iron literally is like $8-10 for just a cheap iron. You know, like, get an iron. Like, it's just not that tough to look that much better. And it's amazing how you can literally go to Goodwill, buy a used pair of khakis and a dress shirt, press it, tuck it in, and you literally look like you've moved forward in the ranks of humanity, like scores when it comes to societal standards of how we look at people, perceptions. Say, well, Josh, I don't agree with that. I don't really agree that looks are everything. Well, sorry, you're a human. That's how we do things. Do you see what I mean? Like, First impressions are everything, and they're not made in the first second. They say they're made within the first tenths of seconds. Like a tenth of a second. Like, pow! Now. It's like, that is fast. You've got that long to establish the connection. Bob Sanford always talked about that in his actual 24-hour interview. When you walk out, he says, when the secretary, Mr. Sanford, Barb's here to see you. Oh, interview, okay. He said, I walked out, I made sure to, like, shoulders back, like, present well, right? Shoulders back, chest high, standing up, right? I'm erect, right? Because there's certain things that we're taught to what are perceived as good and bad, right? Mm-hmm. Like you come out looking like Igor, like, hey, it's not gonna go good, right? You want to come out direct, right? He says, hey, come out. He says, stare him straight in the eye, reach out, say, Lauren, Josh Walk, nice to meet you. Firm handshake, 3 pumps. You see what I mean? Like 1, 2, 3 in the eyes for that moment. Say, please come with me. Turn, arm extended, showing an extension of like welcoming. Come on in. Not necessarily touching, but just waving, follow. You see me? Please follow me. Come on in. Pull the chair back. Take a seat. Thank you for coming in today. How's your day going? Their answer will dictate a lot about who they are. Their dress dictates about how they are. The firm handshake, a bad handshake, they give you a fish, right? They give you a sweaty hand. They give you a, right, like dry your hand off, you know what I mean? When I see a guy coming at me and you're like, God, my hands are sweaty. You're like, how you doing? Because you're like, yeah, you don't want to give somebody a sweaty palm. You don't want to give somebody a fish. I mean, I'll grab somebody, I'll shake somebody's hand and like, you miss. Every once in a while you miss. You just kind of, because, somebody you're like, hey, how you doing? And you're like, oh God, I missed, And you have to like, I'll tell them, I say, can we do that again? I'm sorry, I don't want you to think that I'm one of those people. And they're like, it makes for a good joke, but they're like, yeah, and I'm like, let's try that again. He's like, that's much better. I say, yeah, I feel much better. I felt demasculated there for a second or so, they're like, right. But then it's telling you, what is that telling them? It's character. You see what I mean? It's not who you really are. But when you walk up to somebody and their eyes dart away and they can't look at you and you're like, hi, Lauren, Josh Block, nice to meet you. And they're like, how good of a recruiter are they probably going to be? How good of a sailor? You see what I mean? They're just not probably going to be very good, right? Because they can't present themselves. They can't. Now, a lot of people aren't raised to do that. Doesn't mean that why our sandbox, our training, right? This is why we do these things. Because we weren't necessarily raised that way and didn't grow up in an environment that taught those kinds of skills, which is why a kid coming from maybe a really poor background can come to Primerica and still be extremely successful. Why? Because they can learn those things, those social cues and things here. It just might take them a little more time to graduate through this system. Does that make sense? And they're going to have a lot more to maybe learn. Like, oh, I need to dress nice. I've never used an iron all my life. Maybe I need to learn how to use an iron. I need to. Those are all skills that are what? Learnable. They're not talents. They're not. These are all things that were taught at some point to someone, and maybe some people learned it from 3 on up, as they were being, raised by their parents. Some people weren't taught these things at all, but they can be taught, so you can learn how to shake somebody's hand. You can learn how to talk directly to someone. You can learn how to, everybody following me? Not eat like a slob. I mean? I meet some people, on the team, you're like, hey buddy, it's a fork, not a club. You're kind of helping them out. Like, you're like, the thing that separates the humans from the animals is we bring the food to us. The animals go to the food. Back up. So, all things that, those little, I'm telling you, etiquette, stuff like that, it'll help you in your business immensely. When you just learn etiquette, how to walk into somebody's house, especially when you're doing, I think it's different each market and our demographics and things, it's different. But man, I'll tell you go to real high type S's house, you better have some etiquette. Because you need to walk in and know how to take off the shoes, wipe the shoes, what to touch, what not to touch. You follow me? Good etiquette goes a long ways with different types of personality types and different, all that kind of stuff, right? So back to this idea of referrals, okay? So if you sit down for a coffee or something and you're sitting with somebody, all you really want to mention to them is the idea that what you do may not be for them, but for somebody they know, okay? Hey, this probably isn't for you, but maybe for somebody you know. You're bound to, I like to use terms like that, you're bound to know somebody who could use what I do. You know, let me ask you, Lauren, who's the most ambitious person you know? You know, now act, okay? Like put on a show a little bit, okay? Now I don't mean be like a Banshee Indian in the Starbucks, you know what I mean? Because there are people like looking over like, who's that joker, you know? But, you know what I mean? Like, Lauren, like who's the most like enthusiastic person you know? They're just excited. We all have that friend, you know? Fired up, excited all the time. Everybody loves being around. Life of the party. Who am I asking for? A type. All right. So who do you know is just super enthusiastic, really ambitious? Who do you know is like, oh, this person, this person, this person? Who do you know just loves people? Man, they're always volunteering. They belong to a church, a charity. They do a lot of different volunteering stuff like that. Who do you know just literally cares about people, loves people? Who do you know it's like that? Loves helping people. Oh, I know this person, that person, that person. Now I'm looking for a type. Most of my referrals are going to go around looking for A's and R's. I'm not going to purposely bring an S and T into my business. So, that was a joke. But kind of not, because it'll wear your ass out. So, does everybody follow me? So I'm going to look for an A, look for an R, look for an A, looking for an R. I'm looking for an action person, I'm looking for a relationship-oriented person. So, because the A's, what? They're like, ready to go. Go, go, go. I want to make money. Build a big team. Let's get big, right? R's like, let's get lots of people so we can have a party together. You know, but the same thing happens, right? What? They got a big team, which still produces a lot of business, right? I mean, either way, whichever way they get there, they still get there.
I think ours are the most powerful people.
Oh, ours are really powerful. So, everybody following that?
Yeah.
So, you purposely look for those in the star system. You're purposely looking for those kinds of people, okay? So think of it that way as you're asking them. So, you know, who do you know that's an animal? I got that one from Joe Ward. He goes, who do you know is just like an animal, just a beast? You get around that person, you're just like, man, that's just always hitting it hard, got 3 jobs, always making things happen, shake and bake. They're like ready to roll. Who do you know like that? And they'll say, oh man, this guy Mark, you wouldn't believe him. He is a nut. He wouldn't be able to do this though. I mean, he's way too busy. Oh, I'm sure he is too busy, but I would love to talk to him. I love to meet people like him. What did I just tell her? I'm not trying to recruit him. I would just love to talk to him. I love to meet people like him. But then what am I going to do? I'm going to say, hey, Mark, you know your friend Lauren? Yeah. We just had coffee. She said you're an animal. Said you're I mean, those literally her words. She said that you're just an absolute maniac. Worked 3 jobs. Busiest guy she knows, but that you're extremely ambitious. Is that true? Who's going to say no to that? No, not me. I'm a slug. You know, like they're not going to say, like, especially if she said he is these things, what personality is he? Probably an A. So then I tell an A that I know that he's an A. What's he going to respond? He's like, hell yeah, I am. Ah! You know, like, he's going to like peacock up, you know, right? Yeah. So I say, hey, Lauren says that you're all these great attributes, right? So then what would the conversation came in and like if this was like a scale of energy. When you pick up the phone from somebody, it's usually automatically what? It's automatically negative. When you first pick up a phone and they don't know your phone number, it is a weird phone number, correct?
Yeah.
Where are you starting? Leery.
Yeah.
Who is this? Suspicion, right?
Yeah.
This is where almost, I guarantee all amateurs mess this up in a major way. You don't open the call with enough enthusiasm, speed, and preparedness to take you from a negative to like a plus 20 in literally, and when I mean literally, in 1 second. 2-3 seconds maximum. I'm talking before they hardly know that they're on the phone. You've got to already have impressed them. That's how whenever you're like, how do you call out referrals and get a lot from your referrals? That's how I get a lot from my referrals. You pick up from you're like, Lauren, hi, yeah, can you hear me okay, Lauren? And they're like, who the crap is this? Do you see what I mean? That thought hits them how fast? Millisecond. Who is this? You're like, are you there? You know. I hear people make phone calls and I just think, that's their problem. There's no assertiveness, there's no, right? It's not rehearsed. You gotta practice. You gotta practice. People just, I got the script, ready to roll. Go down the hall for 30 minutes. Maybe read that out loud a few times before we just start going at it. Does that make sense? So, hi Jimmy. You know, you see, hi Jimmy. We've talked about tone and stuff before, right? He's like, yeah. You see, he thinks I know who he is. You see, he's thinking to himself, I know this guy, right? Just by how he's like, yeah, I'm Jimmy. You know, right? You know, it's like he's having that thought, right? So he picks up, hello, hi Jimmy. He's like, yeah. He's like, hey, this is Josh Mock. He's like, what the heck? You know, what's happening in his brain? There's a massive collision.
Yeah, right.
He's going, this guy knows me, but I can't remember who he is. You see what I mean? But I'm not only getting, who is this? I'm making him think that he knows me, even though he does not. So I'm keeping his brain in like a neutral status for that millisecond.
Right.
Millisecond. Hi, Jimmy. Hey, this is Josh. A lot of times that's his first name. His mock helps break it to that he doesn't know me. So this is Josh. Almost everybody knows somebody with your name. Hey, this is Lauren. Oh, yeah. You know, maybe not if you're Catalina. Well, no, maybe in your market, you know.
Yeah.
There's multiple out there. Grandma, at least.
Grandma.
In Grandma's first name? Yeah, so I thought. So, but, hey, Jimmy? He says, yeah. I say, hey, this is Josh. Say, you don't actually know me, but I know your good friend Lauren Mink. You know Lauren, right? And he says, yeah. I said, man, I had coffee with her yesterday. She told me that we had to talk. And he's like, yeah, about what? I said, well, let me tell you. We're having coffee yesterday. You're going to think it's hilarious. I'm already acting like what? We're friends. I said, man, you're going to think this is hilarious, but we're having coffee, and I asked her, I said, who do you know is just an animal, really ambitious, you know, works like crazy, just a real go-getter, tough, just cool, great, hardcore person. And she said you. You were the first person that came to her mind, Jimmy. Are you really like that? And he says, yeah, I am. Right. Well, hey, I'll tell you what. She said that we had to meet, like I said, so we need to get together over coffee or something. What's better for you, Tuesday or Wednesday? I haven't told the guy jack crap. You know what I mean? And I swear to you, if you go straight to the close, a certain percentage of people, if you did that first part right, like, yeah, Wednesday's fine. Where? You're like, Duncan, 10 a.m. Okay, great. And they'll show. They don't even know what they're coming to. Like, oh no, I'm going to meet this guy. Lauren said I got to meet him. You know what I mean? I promise you. Now, most people will what? They'll say, well, what's it all about? What's it? Then, you know, we'll talk a little bit, right? And that's when, you know, Henry heard me one time on a call. He comes out and he goes, Henry Mack, they were here. And then he's like, dude, you were on the phone a long time setting an interview. I said, how long were you on the phone? He said, 15 minutes. I said, 15 minutes? Like, she'll show up. She showed. You see what I mean? Why? She was a little more R. So I had to what? Give her some time. Type A. She said we have to meet. How's tomorrow? 10. Perfect. See you then. You don't even say goodbye. You know what I mean? Just, you know, the guy's just, and then he's there tomorrow morning. Hey, I'm Jimmy. You know, and he's like, ready to go. That's Jimmy. Right, by the way, that was me. That was Jimmy. He does a lean in and he really pumps hard. He's like, hey, because Jimmy's an A, right? So he just comes at you. You see what I mean? So that's a good thing, because I'm an A. So I'm like, yeah, that's right. So you got to take the conversation to the energy level. You need that. That's going to open the conversation, take it to it. Same thing happens with an interview. Like I was saying, when you meet somebody, guys, these are all skills that you need to really get down. Introducing yourself to people, walking straight. You know, like, you know, like high and proud, right? Realizing on the star spectrum of the personality types, realizing who they are on the phone, now, don't try to like, they're an A, maybe a T after. No. You just need to figure out one of them. You see what I mean? And you might be off, but that could be where they are right now. I can be an R in a moment. Do you see what I mean? For a period of time, I can be an A. It's like Jim says, what are you when you're at home, relaxed? What are you?
Especially in an interview, you try to make yourself the best version of you.
The best version of you in an interview. That's right. So I'm like the most professional, especially when I'm with older people, from a lot of securities that I do. But when I'm with older people, I am so, I mean, they think to themselves, I wish my grandson was more like this guy. You know what I mean? I'm going to make them feel like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to fit right into that older way of life, that older culture, that older, how they talk about things. You see what I mean? I'll say to them things like, guys, I've just enjoyed being over here and stuff. There's no TV on, and you guys don't have the internet. We don't got whistles and sounds like a train's coming through here because everything's making racket. I say, I've just really enjoyed just sitting here with you guys and getting to know you and spending some time in your house. And they're like, I love this guy. You know, like, you gotta, now, it might take my money. You know, here, am I being genuine?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
Because for me, there was a part of me that can compartmentalize, and I really like to. I love that time where I can decompress with some older people and just sit back in their house and have a cup of coffee and tell some old stories, and it's just, for me, it's a lot of fun. You know what I mean? So like I will find a genuine compliment that then I can then serve up to them that will also make them feel better about our relationship now. Does that make sense? Everyone has this in them. Everybody's an R. You can tap into that with anybody.
Everybody likes it.
Everybody loves a compliment. Everybody has a flashing sign on their chest that says, make me feel special. Everyone. A type A wants to make trust me, type A wants to make them feel good. Here's your trophy. Hey. You see what I mean? They want to feel good, right? Type R, same thing. Here's a trophy. Oh, this goes out to everyone. So there's the type R, right? The T, right? They come up and they're like, I'm smarter than all of you. You see what I mean? Like, that
I did this by myself.
I did this all by myself. Everybody following me? That's pretty similar. Because of my organizational skills, I beat everyone. Like whatever they think. I strategized, I color coded, and I win. So everybody following me, but all of them what? They all want a compliment. They all want compliment people. So I know I wanted to really talk referrals, but I'm telling you, like, this is some of the people skills, like Stephanie and I were talking about last night, where, just to give you guys all a good laugh, we went to, it was a cash bar, and Stephanie goes, she goes, cash bar? I said, yeah, it's a cash bar. She goes, so they take debit cards? And I said, is it called a debit bar or a cash bar?
And I was like, wait, is it a cash and a debit card?
Yeah. And I was like, cash, like greenbacks, like the ones that you used to like hold and you could give people, and like they give you back some, it's less than how much you gave them because they also give you something in return, like a drink or something, So no, we didn't really go there, but it was funny. So I said, I don't think so. She goes, well, crap. And I said, why don't you go ask the guy? No, I knew they weren't going to have debit cards. But what I was trying to do was trying to coach her.
You knew that?
Yes.
I knew that. I was trying to teach Stephanie something. I said, let's go over there and ask. Well, I don't want to ask. I said, why not? Let's go ask. I said, I'm not asking. You ask.
Yeah.
So we walked up. I said, ask him. Be a big girl. She's like, do you take debit cards? He's like, no, we don't. We only have cash. She's like, okay. So she like walked away.
No booze.
No booze. But look, do you know how important it is for you to walk up and learn how to just hear no, and you don't like, because somebody said no to you. The problem is we avoid no's at all costs in our life to the point that whenever you receive them, it feels like a major sting to the heart. Instead of just being like, "Hey, do you take debit cards?" No. All right. Like, that's why a lot of times people are like, why are there so many like waitresses and people that do really well in this business? They're like came from a lot of those. Goes like, "Hey, you want some coffee?" No coffee. Dessert? No. She doesn't go in the back and like slam her head under the grill. You know what I mean? She's like, I don't know, they don't want coffee. Like, who the crap do I care? She's literally like, if you ask them, "Tell me, Lauren, how do you feel about the fact that table 6, nobody wants an appetizer from you? How do you feel about that personally?" And she's like, "Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if I just didn't sell it right. You know, I just felt like maybe if I would have if I was taller, that would have helped." Do you see how? Now seriously, do you see how ridiculous that sounds? A waitress would never do that. She wouldn't be like, "Well, maybe if I was a better presenter." You guys following me, or are you catching the reel as I'm closing this? Okay. If I was a better closer, I would have got him to get appetizers. You know what I mean? No, they didn't want any appetizers.
Good.
Now, there's an element to this where, yes, we do have to be good at our business. We do have to present. We have to do overcome. Don't remember. T.R. Becker says the poor think that you can do something one or the other. The rich know that you can do both. Poor think that you can have money and have a bad family life, or you can have a good family life and be broke. That's what the poor middle class think. The rich know that you can have both. You see, there's a big line there. Okay. So you do have to be skilled and know what you're doing, but you also have to know that you just simply have to work the numbers. Okay?
The important thing is that Lauren, the server, asked them if they want them. And we've all been there. We're like, we might get one. The server comes up, "Do you want an appetizer?" And it's like that final, that just puts you over the edge. Yeah, you know what, I do want these beer pretzels and cheese sticks, and go ahead and bring out.
That's right.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing with drinks. So many times, like you're out to eat, and I've been out, and you're like, you sit down, you're like, "Waters." Like, "We drink. You guys have any drinks?" "No, we're not having any drinks." She comes back. "So here's a drink menu. You sure you guys aren't drinking anything tonight? No cocktails or anything?" You're like, "What's on special?" You know, before you know it, you got the big sucker. You know, and you're sitting there, and you're going, "How did this happen?" You know. You didn't know you wanted something until somebody presented it to you, asked you. You see what I mean? And then maybe asked you what? Multiple times. Like, "Oh, do you guys want drinks?" "No, we don't think so." "Okay, hold on." She comes back. "Here's the drink menu. Just in case you want to peruse around, maybe you'll find something that you're looking for. Anything on the palate?" Actually, let me tell you. These are specials tonight. See what I mean? So, it's like, "You want to make any extra money?" "No, I'm not interested." A month later, "Hey, you want to make any extra money? By the way, this is how we get paid and how we do it a little bit. Da, 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 da." Ooh. Okay. See what I'm saying? So, guys, not every transaction. Now, remember, our transactions it's the same as a waitress, just a longer turnaround time. They literally went and got the water, came right back. You're already like, because you'll be in and out of this place in an hour. You see what I mean? So the whole transaction is much shorter. But unlike on a kitchen table, an interview, you might schedule an appointment. It's a week from now. You get to the appointment. You see me. Things can take months or even a year. Okay, and sometimes a matter of days only. Okay, but you need to understand that you keep coming back like the waitress, and you don't take the answer personally, which is why I was like, "Go ask the guy." No, I just don't like asking things that I don't know, and I'm like, "Yeah, but if you want to be really successful in business, you have to be willing to ask for anything to anyone at any time." I mean, I ask for deals on things that like you wouldn't normally ask for deals on. Like, I just, we like haggle for cars. You know what I mean? I'll haggle for prices on tires. I'll haggle for like the price of like groceries or something. You know, and I'm like, "Come on, I know you're thinking about giving me a discount today." You know, like, you're like, "Are you that guy?" "Yeah, I'm that guy. What do I care?" You know what I mean? You're so worried about what other people think about you. I'm worried about saving my money. You see what I mean? So
that's another interesting fact when you do. That guy's never thought about Stephanie again since that.
No, that guy hadn't thought about it since the moment she walked away. He was like, "Okay, thanks, darling." She left. He was like,
He didn't wake up this morning and be like, "Remember that girl that asked me if we took what a maroon.
Right? Wasn't that weird? He
Unless he
didn't.
goes
He
like-
didn't think that. You
Unless he
know?
goes back home and tells the wife the story like this.
Does he want to do that? You know,
Right.
I mean,
They don't. When you walk, if you
They still don't
ask
know yet.
somebody for their phone number in a store, they don't. They literally don't think about it after you walked away. Hey, you want to make some extra money? No, I'm good. Thank you though. I love when they apologize. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm okay. They're apologizing to you.
Right.
You're worried about what they're gonna say, and they're apologizing. I'm really sorry. I'm really okay with my job and what I'm doing. And you're like, okay. So you leave, and they're like, they don't think it's over. The transaction over. Okay. So, anyways, thinking on that.